Welcome everyone to the 7th episode of the podcast I Was Feeling Epic. Today's episode is called Haunted and it's a Halloween episode and I'm so excited to talk about it. There's so much that happens in this episode. Before we start, I just want to talk a little bit about myself. I went home for Christmas for a week and it was awesome. I was home after 10 years. I mean, I do go home like once or twice a year, but I was there for Christmas after 10 years and it was absolutely amazing. I did get super drunk on Christmas. We have Christmas on the 24th of December. We have dinner and then we open presents, and the presents are brought by baby Jesus, not Santa Claus. But anyways, I got so drunk that I actually did not remember what I got for Christmas. So then the next day in the morning on the 25th, I actually brought American Christmas to check because I was going through my presents again, and I was, I didn't remember anything. So it was like I brought, instead of bringing, the Czech Christmas to myself, I brought the American Christmas with me to Czech, which, yeah. So that was awesome. But the trip was great. We have this straight flight from Newark to Vienna, and then my family always picks us up from the airport, me and my husband. So it's amazing. And it was just so good to see everybody, my friends, my family. Everybody has dogs. We went on so much walks in the forest. We went to this castle, like castle ruins from like the year 1350. I've been there before, but it's just amazing to see it. Like, how does it still stand? I mean, it has a couple of like rooms and walls, like it's insane. I'll put it on the story for you guys, and it was just so good. I hope everybody, all of you had an amazing Christmas, and I wish you all the best in the new year. This is our year. We will accomplish our goals. We will be happy. We will work on ourselves. This is it, guys. Then I have 2 book recommendations. It's by Ali Hazelwood. And it's the books Bride and Maid. It's like a fantasy with romance, lots of sex, and lots of like forbidden love kind of thing. But it is very readable. Like, it's one of those books that sucks you in, and you just have to keep reading. Like, it's very, I don't know if readable is the right word, that you just want to keep reading. It's really good. You should try it. Then I wanted to tell you that I listened to some of my English episodes of the podcast to just see how I do, if it's even understandable. And I have to say, I make a lot of annoying pauses, and it's because like right now, it's because the notes I have written is in Czech. So when I'm doing the English one, I don't have it written out in English, and sometimes it takes a little bit for me to translate it in my head or remember a word or something like that. I should probably do one in Czech and in English, but the preparation of the episode already takes a couple hours for me, and I just am a bit too lazy to do that. So I apologize for that. I'm gonna try to be better today. Also, I wanted to explain why I don't do the music in the beginning anymore. It's because of copyright. I would love to have the beginning music and the ending music from the Vampire Diaries, from the show, in the beginning and the end of the podcast, but I'm afraid that they would block that because of copyright. Then I tried to do my own thing when I was doing I was feeling epic, whatever, but I just felt like it's just weird. I didn't like it anymore. So I think right now it's just gonna start where it starts, and then I think I might keep the one in the end with the "Am I wearing my I blew up the council" t-shirt, because I love that line so much. But anyways, let's dive into today's episode. So much happens in this episode. I'm so excited. So we are in the first scene, and Tyler is leaving the school, I think maybe after like a football practice. I'm not sure. I think it's the school that he's leaving, and it's the school parking lot, but I'm not sure. Again, we have a very dark atmosphere, dark night. He sits in his car, and right away, or in a little bit, Vicky appears in the car out of nowhere. Tyler is asking Vicky, "What happened in those woods, Vic? Those kids that were killed, what did you see?" and Vicky starts saying that she's super scared, and this hunger that she has, she cannot control it. And he's like, well, I'll take you home, this and that. And then Vicky just snaps, and her face turns, vampire-y, and she jumps at Tyler, or she tries to bite him, and he gets scared and he falls out of the car. Then Vicky is going after him, but Stefan appears and he grabs Vicky. Also, Damon appears, and Tyler is asking them what's wrong with her, like what's wrong with Vicky, what's happening. But I feel like he's not as scared as he should be. Like if I saw my ex-boyfriend, like my high school boyfriend, just like do that demonic face and try to eat me, I think I would be freaking out. Like I would be screaming, I would be running, trying to run. So I feel like Tyler is taking it pretty good, So then Damon is telling Tyler to shut up, and then Tyler is saying to Damon, screw you, dude. And Damon's like, dude? Really? Dude? And Stefan's like, Damon John, oh, come on, who's gonna miss this idiot? And then Damon compels Tyler and tells him, forget what you saw here tonight, none of us were here. So just a little note for this scene, which I already mentioned, Tyler didn't freak out as much as I think that he should freak out. And also, I was thinking that I'm surprised that vampires can compel werewolves. I know that Tyler isn't a werewolf yet, he has the gene, but still, there is something supernatural about Tyler, so I'm really surprised that he is compellable by a vampire. After this scene, we see the writing of the Vampire Diaries on the screen, and officially this episode of the Vampire Diaries is starting. Next scene is at Elena's house. Elena is waking up, and right away you can see on her face, it's something like, if something is bothering you, something is happening in your life, and then you go to bed, your brain gets a break and you don't have to think about it for a little bit. But right away when you wake up, it all rushes back in, and this is what we see in this scene, because Elena wakes up and right away you see on her face like all this bad stuff that she has to think about rushing in. And you can see it in her expression, which I think is amazing, that you could actually see that on Nina's face. Then Elena goes to the bathroom and Jeremy is in there. Jeremy is telling her he's going to the cops because they are doing a search party for Vicky. Elena is asking him if it wouldn't be better if he went to school, and Jeremy is like, your lips are moving, I don't know why, like you're kidding me, right? And then Jeremy leaves. Then in the Mystic High School, we see that it's probably Halloween because there is kids like high school kids carving pumpkins on like a break outside. I mean, I don't think at high school I would like to carve a pumpkin on my break, or maybe it's before school, I'm not sure, but it's like super weird. I don't know. But I guess I understand that they were just trying to show us like that it's Halloween, like just to kind of like set the mood for this episode. Then we see Matt in the hallway, and Vicky is calling him that she's okay and not to like worry about her and give her some time. Then we see Vicky at Stefan and Damon's house, and she's asking them why can't she just go home, and Stefan is telling her that she cannot be alone right now. Meanwhile, Damon is reading the newspaper and he's saying that there is not a hint or any mention that the Logan Fell guy died. The one that Damon killed in the cemetery because Logan was trying to kill Stefan. Damon is asking Stefan if he's not like interested what Logan did with the compass or what he was doing in the woods with the compass. And Stefan then replies that, Damon, if you're so worried, maybe you should leave town. And Damon says, well, I think all of us should be worried. Vicky says she's hungry, and Stefan is giving her a cup of animal blood, but then Damon is kind of like bitching that she's a new vampire, she needs human blood, and yeah, Vicky's like, why can't I have human blood? And Stefan tells her that it's not okay to hurt innocent people. Damon tells Vicky that she doesn't have to kill anyone, that she could just snatch, eat, and erase, which is a line that I love. But then Stefan tells her, no. There is no guarantee that you can control yourself, okay? It takes years to learn that. You could easily kill somebody, and then you have to carry that with you for the rest of your life, which, if I haven't made clear, is eternity. Which, this line is so funny, like, when he's like, which, if I haven't made clear, is eternity. And then Damon is like, don't listen to him. He walks on a moral plane way out of our line. I say snatch, eat, and race. Hey, look at me. We choose our own path. Our values and our actions, they define who we are, which is a very pretty way to say that. I like that. Damon is then walking downstairs. Somebody's ringing the doorbell. He opens the door and Elena is there. She's asking him, where is Stefan? And Damon is making fun of her, and he's like, good morning to you too, little miss. I'm on a mission. How can you be so arrogant and glib after everything that you've done? And how can you be so brave and stupid to call a vampire arrogant and glib? If you wanted me dead, I'd be dead. Yes, you would. But I'm not. Yet. Where's Stefan? He's upstairs singing The Rain in Spain. Knock yourself out. And I love this exchange between them. It's super funny, witty, quick. Love it. And then I never understood The Rain in Spain. Why is he saying that? And I googled it, and apparently it's a song from My Fair Lady, which I have never seen. This scene also, I love when Damon is leaning on the door. He looks super cute. And then when he's walking by Elena to go outside, he does this little lean towards her, and he's looking into her eyes super intensely, and Ian just looks so good in this scene. And then when he walks out, he makes this little smirk for himself. I have to say, in this episode, the acting skills of Ian, Paul, Nina, and Kyla are amazing. Just these little nuances that they show on their face, but they give you so much emotions and everything. I love it. Anyways, Elena's walking inside. She's calling Stefan, and then he appears on the staircase. And I realized that I love this vampire appearing, that they just you're just standing there alone, and then whoosh, and there's somebody next to you. It's I love that. I wish I could do that. Elena is asking where Vicky is, and Stefan says that she's upstairs. Elena is asking what's gonna happen to her and what is she supposed to tell to Jeremy, and then the whole town is looking for Vicky. Stefan says that he's working with Vicky. Let's quote it. I'm working with her, but it's gonna take time. She's a very volatile and impulsive personality, and she's a drug user. I mean, all that's gonna play a part in how she responds to this. So Lena says, so she's a vampire with issues? What am I supposed to do? Because I'm lying to everyone that I care about. I'm gonna keep her here with me until I know that she's safe. And then Vicky appears, and she's like, how long is that? Stefan says we can talk about that later. And then Elena stupidly asks Vicky, hey Vicky, how are you? And Vicky is like, how am I? You're kidding, right? In the next scene, Bonnie is at her Gram's, and they're talking about magic and witches, and Bonnie is asking her Gram's if anyone from their family has been burned during the Salem witch trials, to which her grandma tells her that all of those who were burned there were innocent, and that Bonnie's family ran from Salem in 1692 and they settled here in Mystic Falls. Then she also tells Bonnie that it's important that the fact that they're witches remains a secret, to which Bonnie is like, Rams, everybody knows you're a witch. They also know it's absurd, can't be true. I'm just a kooky lady that teaches occult at the university. No one really believes. They just poke fun, and don't let them know the truth. Where's the witchcraft? I mean, you've been talking history for 2 days. I want to get to the fun part. It's not meant to be fun. It's real and it's serious, and you must understand it before you practice. Aren't you late for school? And I like that in this, we're on the 7th episode of the first season, and Bonnie's Grams tells us that she teaches at the university. And then later on with Shane, they kind of connect that the grandma was teaching there, and he knew her and all that stuff, which is kind of amazing. Next we have the scene where Mayor Lockwood and his wife are in the Mystic Grill, and they're talking about the compass that has been lost with Logan, the one that you can find the vampires with. And then Mayor Lockwood says that if the vampire who found it knows anything about the history of Mystic Falls, he will know where that compass came from, meaning from their family, and that they have to find the vampire before he finds them. And this whole conversation is listened on by Damon, who sits at the bar. In the next scene, we are back at the high school, and Matt is putting his stuff in his locker when Tyler comes to him and asks him about Vicky and if he can help him with anything. And Matt tells him that she called him and she says she's okay. The next scene, Caroline then gives Bonnie a bag with her Halloween costume, and Bonnie is not like very excited about it. And I don't know if it's because it's a witch costume or because Bonnie doesn't want to really, or doesn't feel like celebrating Halloween. Maybe both. I'm not sure, because from the context, I feel like Caroline wants to celebrate Halloween to kind of forget about Damon, because she says, come on, can someone please be excited that it's Halloween? I just want to have fun, just some silly, fluffy, demon-free fun. So yeah, I think Caroline just wants to forget. Then in the bag with the costume is also the necklace that Damon found in the box at the founders party. And then after Stefan raped Damon and dragged him away, Caroline woke up on the grass and found the necklace, and she still has it. But then she is given it to Bonnie. And she says, yeah, whether I toss it, I don't care. I just want it gone. And then she asks, have you seen Elena? Do you know what she's wearing? And Bonnie says, I was with Grams all weekend. I haven't talked to her. Maybe she's with Stefan. And Caroline is like, ride into his castle on his white horse. And Bonnie tells her, don't be bitter. It provokes wrinkles. And there is a really cute moment, which I don't think I've ever noticed before, is that when Bonnie says that, don't be bitter, it provokes wrinkles, then you can see how Caroline is touching her forehead between like her eyebrows to like kind of check if the wrinkles appeared, which is so cute and so Caroline. In the next scene, we are back at Stefan's house. He's sitting at the table with Vicky and he's teaching her about vampires. He is telling her that when they drink coffee, and then the caffeine like runs through their veins, so they're not so cold to the touch. And Vicky says, well, what if I want to drink human blood? And Stefan says that she'll have to control that urge. Then Vicky asks him, you never tasted human blood? And he says, not for years. And Elena is listening very closely because she's never had that conversation with Stefan. Vicky then is bitching about not being able to go outside and that she wants more blood, and why does she have to go, like she feels like she has to go use the bathroom, like why does that happen? I thought I was dead, and she's just bitching. So Vicky's going to the bathroom. Stefan is going to get more blood for Vicky. Then Vicky is coming back from the bathroom and she's texting Jeremy. So Elena is like, well, you can see him anymore because you're gonna hurt him. So then Vicky flips out. She grabs Elena under the neck and she's like, let's get one thing straight, you perky little bitch. You had my brother whipped for 15 years. 15 years, and then you dumped him. When I look at you, that is all that I see. Just so you know. And I'm gonna see Jeremy whenever I want to see Jeremy, because I have to get some fun new toys to play with, and I won't think twice about ripping your little head off. You got it? Elena then is outside with Stefan. She's telling him, what is happening, and Stefan says she's on edge. Imagine every sense in your body operating at super speed. I mean, she's uncomfortable at her own skin, and when you throw her like in other issues. Then Stefan also tells Elena that it's hard to resist certain people, especially when you're new. It's difficult to separate your feelings, love, lust, anger, desire. It can all blur into one urge, hunger. And I love this line, the way it is explained, that just all of these emotions become kind of one, and there's not much you could do about it. So then Elena's like, yeah, well, what does it mean? And Stefan says, yeah, she can't see Jeremy right now, and that then Stefan says he's not gonna let anybody to get hurt by Vicky. Vicky is then laying on Stefan's bed and Damon is walking in. Vicky's asking him why did he turn her, and he admits to her that he turned her out of boredom, and he says it's one of the pitfalls of eternity. Vicky says, well, now I'm bored, so Damon is taking her outside in front of the house. Stefan hates that idea, but Damon is like, she's been cooped up in your room all day, she's not Anne Frank. And Frank was the girl who was hiding from the Nazis during the Second World War, and she was keeping a diary about her experiences, and then it came out as a book. Damon also said, I'm not taking her to Disneyland, we're going in the front yard, come on. Then Damon shows Vicky their super speed, and whoosh, and Vicky is gone. What I found interesting in this scene is that when they are walking out of the house, there is a big C and K monogram on the building, like on the house. And I think whoever, the filmers just kind of forgot to take that off, and I think it was probably a monogram of whoever was living in that house, or if it was like a company logo, because if it was anything with Salvador's, I think it would be like an S. So I think they probably just forgot to take it off or didn't care about it. Vicky goes straight home. She's taken a spare key from underneath like a flower pot, which is super original. I'm sure none of us do that. And she's unlocking the door, but she doesn't understand that she cannot come in. And I mean, come on. Stefan was teaching her like Vampires 101. Like, why didn't he tell her that as one of the first things that you tell a new vampire? Like, I don't understand that. That is so weird to me that he didn't tell her that. So she's kind of like lurking on, in the door, and then Matt comes and she says, please come inside, and right away she can walk in. And I feel like Kayla is playing the new vampire super good. Matt, after like the first, initial happiness that she's home, he's starting to get pissed off because he's asking her what happened at the cemetery. She doesn't want to talk about it. And then Matt is mad because he's like, well, we were searching for you while you were like on one of your drug trips. And then Vicky is getting pissed off, and she's breaking her plate with like one hard like hit on her plate. And then somebody's knocking on the door, and it's Stefan. Vicky says she doesn't want him in the house, and Matt listens to her. In the next scene, Jeremy is calling Vicky, and Elena is coming, or he's maybe texting her. I think he's calling her, leaving her a voicemail. And Elena walks in, and she's asking him if they're going to go to the Halloween party at school. And then Elena is like, I know you're sad about Vicky, but she needs to get better, and that's the best thing that you can do for her. And Jeremy is telling her, what does it mean, like, let her go, like, and then she's like, I know you may not see it, but trust me, it's for the best. And Jeremy is like, look, for months after mom and dad died, I felt like crap, like nothing really even mattered crap. Now all of a sudden, I get these moments and things started to feel just a little bit better. And Vicky was in every single one of them. So you may not see it, but trust me, keeping me away from her is not for the best. And then Vicky and Jeremy text, and they agree to meet at the party. And I understand Jeremy, like, I really understand him, because after his parents died, it must have been horrible. And clearly he had a crush on Vicky, and she was just, helping him through it. Even though he doesn't know why he can't see her, he thinks, like, it's just drugs. Or just drugs, Then we're at the Halloween party, and Tyler and Caroline are having a drink. With Bonnie is there. She doesn't want to drink, but she's there as well. Then we're back at the grill, second time in this episode, where we see Mayor Lockwood with his wife Carol, and they both have Halloween costumes on. Then the mayor is leaving, and Carol is joined by Damon, who's flirting with her, and she's flirting back with him. And then they're talking about Zach, and Damon is telling her that Zach is his uncle. Damon then tries to compel Carol and asks her, how do you know Zach? But she's wearing vervain, so he can't do it. I think she has a bracelet with a little heart charm with vervain on it, because the camera kind of zooms in on it like Damon's looking at it. But I was surprised that Damon cannot smell the vervain. I felt like vampires could smell really well, and he would be able to smell that she's wearing it. Then we are back at the party in the high school, and Elena is coming with Jeremy. Elena is wearing like a sexy, kind of creepy, more sexy than creepy, like a nurse costume, and Jeremy doesn't have any, he just has a hoodie on. Elena's talking to Matt, who also is wearing his last year costume, a doctor costume, and they had it last year when they were a couple. They had that like a couple costume, a nurse and a doctor. Elena is learning that Vicky is at the party, and she starts to freak out. Meanwhile, Jeremy disappears. Matt then tells Elena very ironically, yeah, you can't miss her, she's a vampire. And Elena is going to look for Jeremy, or leaving to go look for Jeremy. Stefan finds Vicky and he takes her into one of the classrooms, and she's like, why are you following me now? And she wants to like get out of there. And then Stefan is telling her, you shouldn't be here, Vicky. Crowds like this make it even harder for you to keep yourself under control. She says, I'm fine. And he's like, really? And then Stefan's like, no headache, your stomach is not screaming at you, you're not feeling lightheaded or anxious or cranky, like if someone looks at you the wrong way you could just rip their head off. Do you want to know what's it called? It's called hunger, and it's only gonna get worse every minute you pretend like it's not controlling you. And in this scene, I love that ironically Vicky actually has a vampire costume on and she's an actual vampire. That is so funny. And then also that the classroom Stefan and Vicky are at, and they're talking, the big lights are shut off, and there's just this like dark red light coming into the classroom, I think from a window from outside. And it is amazing writing, or like a scene distribution, or how would I call it, because they are two vampires talking about bloodlust and talking about hunger and all this heavy stuff that is connected to main thing that is blood. And there is a red light that like shines on their faces while they talk about this like heavy shit. And I just think that it's genius. I don't think I've ever noticed it before, but now when I'm making these for the podcast, I notice like really a lot of more things and details that I've missed before, and I just love it. To me, this is brilliant. Like, it really brings up the atmosphere of the scene so much higher. So love this. Now we are back at the grill where Damon is conveniently sitting next to Carol, seducer, and then he's asking Carol how much vervain does she need for how many people. And of course we know that he's trying to find out like how many people are on vervain and therefore not compellable. She says, you know, our kids, our friends, our family, and then she says Zach knows how many. And then there is like an exchange, like a very funny exchange between them. So let's read that. Zach knows how many, but I'm so late, my husband is not going to be happy with me. Well, are you happy with your husband? You're flirting with me. You flirted with me first. True. Let me escort you to the school. It's not safe out there. I mean, I've seen 10 vampires tonight. Oh, well, if only the real ones were so easy to find. And I think this is so funny because he's an actual vampire and they're talking about this, like, this is so cute. Then Damon is asking her how is the search for the vampires, and she said not very great because whoever turned up at the founders party during daylight was eliminated as a suspect. So there's that. Then back at the party, Stefan comes with Vicky and they are meeting Elena and Matt. Elena is feeling like good that, you know, they found her, like she's relieved, and Matt is asking what's happening. Vicky uses this chance to kind of like starts like screaming like, oh, let me, you know, he won't leave me alone. So Matt is like going after Stefan. And Stefan's telling him, I'm just trying to help her. Vicky gets away, she finds Jeremy, and they're kissing, and then they're running away. In the next scene, Bonnie is standing at something that looks like a giant pot, and it looks like she's stirring it with something, some like stick or something, which is like a weird scene. I'm like, is she doing that because she has a witch costume and it looks like she's making a potion? Like, I guess. It was weird. Then Damon comes and he takes like a candy out of the pot. So I guess, I don't know. And then Damon is asking Bonnie where's Caroline, and she tells him to leave her alone. Damon then realizes that Bonnie is wearing that necklace he took out of the box at the founders party, and he tries to take it back, but it burns him. And Bonnie runs away. And I have to say that Bonnie looks so good with that blonde hair in this scene. I loved it for her. Then we are coming to kind of the epic ending of this episode. And there is a song that starts Sleep Alone by Bat for Lashes. And to like this day, I have this song so much connected with the scene. Like when I hear the song, this is what I see. So Vicky and Jeremy are coming out of the school and they are in the parking lot of those like big yellow Stifler buses. like school buses, and they're starting to kiss. Vicky is telling Jeremy she wants to leave town and start a new life, and she's asking him to come with her. And she tells him that if he comes with her, they can be together forever, which makes me want to believe that Vicky was gonna turn Jeremy into a vampire. So they are kissing, but then Vicky bites Jeremy in his lip by accident, and blood starts coming out, and is fucked. Then she starts to like suck the blood out of his lip, and she is getting like rougher and rougher, so Jeremy like pushes her away. Her face changes into the vampire face, and she's going after Jeremy. In this moment, Elena runs towards them, and she's grabbing like a piece of wood, and she's going after Vicky, which to me is super brave of Elena, because she could have like saw that and start screaming Stefan's name, because as we know, we see Stefan inside lurking around and trying to like listen in to hear if he hears anything, to find like Jeremy and Vicky. So Elena could have started screaming Stefan's name and he would hear her and come, but she doesn't even think about it. She grabs the wood and she's going after Vicky, like totally brave, to save her brother. Vicky pushes Elena away and Elena gets hurt. Then Stefan gets there, he catches Vicky under the throat, but Vicky kind of gets out and she hides. Stefan tells Elena and Jeremy to go inside, so Elena grabs Jeremy and they're running toward the door. When they open them, Vicky grabs Elena and she bites her in the neck. Stefan then stakes Vicky with a piece of wood and she dies. And this is the first time in the series that we see what happens to a vampire when they die, that their skin goes gray and the veins come up. Like in True Blood, when you kill a vampire, when you stake them, they just explode into this like bloody mush. But here they just get like gray and their veins get out. Elena then tells Stefan to take Jeremy away, and he's taking him away, and he's also calling Damon that he needs help. Elena is sitting next to a dead Vicky and she's crying, and it must be so horrible because she's known Vicky since she was a little kid, like, and then you just see her dead there. That's just insane. Bonnie is coming to her grams and she's telling her what happened to the necklace, and grandma is looking at it and she says that it has been Emily Bennett's, which was Bonnie's great grandmother. It's 4 grades and then grandmother. And she adds that it was one of the most powerful witches in their bloodline. Then Bonnie's Grams takes the book out of her library. For me, too quickly, because I think she would need a little bit more time to locate the book. She turns around and grabs the book right away. And then she's showing Bonnie a picture of Emily with the necklace on. And I think this Emily is the actress that plays Emily later on in the series. In the next scene, we are back at the parking of the buses and Damon comes in. He tells Lena, "You should go, I got this. You did this. This is your fault. You confuse me for someone with remorse. None of this matters to me, none of it. People die around you. How could it not matter? It matters and you know it." And then she hits him. Elena hits Damon. "You need to leave. Your wounds are bleeding and you need to leave." And this scene is so intense. Damon is brilliant. And Damon, or Ian, I have to say. And then Damon is super scary in this scene. And I think this is the first time that Elena was actually afraid of Damon. His face, his emotions, his face expression, these little, like almost insignificant changes on his face that are saying so much, and they are giving the emotions such depth. Even his tone of voice and how he says, for example, "None of this matters to me," and then he whispers, "None of it." It's just so genius to me, the way it's written, the way it's played out, acted out. I love it. And as I said, I really think Elena, this is the first time she's actually really scared of Damon. And I think she even like backs out a little bit and gets startled when she hits him, because he's like very slowly turning his head back to her, and in his eyes he has like crazy eyes, like crazy scary eyes, and then he makes this little noise, like almost just for himself, and it's like and you can see how much he has to control himself not to rip her head off or something, not to do something to her. And then he sent her away, and she doesn't even protest, and she's leaving. And again, I think that Damon probably doesn't have his emotions on in these first couple episodes, because it wouldn't make sense to me. Because later on, when we start going into flashbacks, Damon was acting differently in the flashbacks in the past that happened between this this scene or this moment in time, and he was acting different. And now he's more like just turned off, like more evil, I would say, or more Damon without emotions. So I do believe that Damon's emotions probably were off in the first couple of episodes in this season, or that's what I think. Elena is walking to her car, and Matt catches up to her, and he's asking her if she saw Vicky. She says and then Matt sees the blood on her, and he's like, "What happened to you?" And she's like, "Oh, somebody just sprayed me with fake blood," which is not true. She's actually hurt. And she says, "I didn't see Vicky. I'm gonna go home and shower." And then I have to say again, beautiful acting from Nina, because she just lied like right into his eyes, into Matt's eyes. And Matt is someone she has known since she was a kid. He was her first love. They have been friends since they were little kids, and she just lied to him into his eyes. And you can see how much it's eating her up alive, that this is where she's at and this is what she has to do. And this whole scene, she has tears at the corner of her eyes, which I'm kind of surprised Matt didn't ask her like if she's okay. But again, he's a guy, and also he was worried about Vicky, so probably he didn't realize that or notice that. Elena tells Matt that he's a good brother, and Matt is like, "Yeah, maybe Vicky just went home." And Elena says, "Yeah, maybe." And she walks to her car, and then she totally breaks down and starts crying. I was reading the book, which is also called I Was Feeling Epic. I was reading it last year. It came out last year, and they were saying that Nina is such a good actress. She can cry like on demand. Like she goes into her head and she pulls out something super hurtful that happened to her, and she uses that to do these crying scenes. In the next scene, Elena's coming home. Stefan is waiting for her on the porch, and Elena is going inside to see Jeremy. She's asking him, "Do you understand what happened tonight?" "No, I don't understand. I mean, I know what I saw, but I don't understand. She was going to kill me. Now she's dead. Vicky's dead. I'm sorry, Jer. Make it stop. It hurts." And then Jeremy says, "Why does everybody have to die on me?" And Elena hugs him, and it's just so sad. Elena goes back outside to see Stefan, and she's asking him if he could take away Jeremy's memories, because it's just too much for Jeremy and he's just a kid. I mean, Elena is only a little bit older than Jeremy, but she really gets super protective of Jeremy, of her little brother. Stefan tells her that it probably wouldn't work since he doesn't drink human blood. And Damon appears and he says, "I can do it." And then also Damon asks her, "What do you want him to know?" To which Elena says, "I want you to tell him that Vicky left town and she's not coming back. That he shouldn't look for her or worry about her. He's gonna miss her, but he knows it's for the best." So then Damon goes inside to do that, and Elena tells Stefan that part of me wishes that I could forget meeting you, finding out what you are, and everything that's happened since. "Is that what you want?" "Yes, it is, but I don't want it to be like this. I don't want to feel like this, but I can't. With everything that's happened, I can't lose the way I feel about you." And it's a pretty scene, because when she tells him she wants to forget, Stefan has this like really sad, almost tortured expression on his face. But when she says, "But I don't want to feel the way I feel about you," you can see how he like lightens up. It's just a little bit, but he does lighten up, and he like turns towards her a little bit more. And I really love these details in this episode. It's really great. Then Damon walks outside and he says it's done. Elena looks at Stefan, she looks at Damon, and she goes inside. And this is how this episode ends. And a couple of notes I have. So in the last scene when Damon is coming and he says that, oh, I can do it for you, he looks so hot. He has like a white t-shirt and I think a leather jacket, and it looks so good. And also the way he's walking, the style in the way he's walking, like just a bad boy, like a super sexy asshole, I would say. Elena also looks super cute in this scene. She's like wrapped up in a blanket. She had like a red lipstick and some eyeshadow, and there is like only a little bit of light because it's dark. And Nina's face is so beautiful. Nina is like probably the most beautiful woman to me because I feel like her face is perfect, and so she looks super cute in this as well. And the details of these little expressions throughout this episode from Nina, from Ian, from Paul, from Kayla are just amazing. And I'm so happy that I'm actually doing this podcast and I but I watch the series so closely that I maybe see things that I've never noticed, like the scene with Vicky and Stefan when there is the red light shining on their faces when they're talking about the bloodlust, and all of these little emotions that are happening on their faces that just say millions of words just by a little expression change. I love that. So this episode was super fun. It was super fun to do. I was so excited to talk about it. And I just have a couple of notes from True Blood. So if you're done with Vampire Diaries, thank you for listening. Now I'm going to talk about True Blood a little bit because, as I mentioned before, I'm also rewatching True Blood now. And there is a lot of characters that are on True Blood that also appear on the Vampire Diaries. One of them is Portia Belfleur from True Blood, who is Vanessa in the Vampire Diaries, and Vanessa is assistant of Isabel that worked with her, and I think Isabel was her teacher. Then we have Elijah Michelson plays John in True Blood in season 3 episode 10, as well as Lexi plays Charlene in season 3 episode 10, and she plays a girlfriend of John. So Lexi and Elijah are playing a couple on True Blood in one episode. Then we also have Ketsia, the witch, 2,000-year-old witch Ketsia, who is Luna in True Blood. And then also there's a couple other actors that are not on the Vampire Diaries, but are from my other favorite shows. So there is Brad from How I Met Your Mother. Brad plays Alcide, or the same actor I should say, plays Alcide on True Blood, and he plays Brad on How I Met Your Mother. And Brad in How I Met Your Mother is Marshall's friend. He's a lawyer as well, and he appears in a couple of episodes, and he's super funny. And Alcide on True Blood is the werewolf that like kind of helps Suki. Then there is Hetty, or Henrietta, from my favorite show Ghosts, the American version, not the British one, and she is the fairy queen on True Blood. And then we also have Marnie, who is a witch on the True Blood in season 4. Marnie is a witch, and that is Carolyn from Killing Eve, which Killing Eve is an amazing show. So Carolyn from Killing Eve, but also Marnie, the same actress, Fiona Shaw, plays Aunt Petunia from Harry Potter. And I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with finding actors in my favorite shows and movies and be like, oh, that's the guy who was in that show, and like, I don't know, I just like that. So anyways, I also posted a comparison of photos, like a compilation on the Vampire Instagram that I have, TVD, Forever I Was Feeling Epic. So you can see them side by side in, True Blood and then in the Vampire Diaries. If you swipe, there is maybe 7 photos you can look at. I think I also put it on the story as well. If you have any comments or anything you would like to add or any questions you want to ask me, you can either comment under this episode or you can also send me a private message on the Instagram, TVD I Was Feeling Epic. I'm gonna link it in today's episode as well. And thank you so much for listening. I hope that I was doing a little better with the pauses. I was really trying, but I'm not sure. I have to have a listen to it when I edit it and see. I'm gonna try to get better about that because it's very annoying in the other episodes I listened to. And I just hope that you have the most amazing year 2026 and that all your dreams come true, all your wishes, everything you want to accomplish. I think this is the year to do it because life, in fact, is very short and we never know what's going to happen the next day and how many days we have left. So if there's something you want to do and you're afraid to do it, I think you should take the leap and you should try to do it, because when, if not now, you know? Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Keep watching Vampire Diaries. It's the greatest show on earth. And I will see you, not really, but I will catch you at the next episode, the 8th episode that we will be talking about next time. Have a great day. Bye. Am I wearing my I blew up the council t-shirt? Why is everybody keep asking me that?